Stick tight. Stick out. Stick tight. Stick out. Stick tight. Stick out. Stick tight. Stick tight.
And
Hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 29 of Stick Talk Hockey. As always, I'm your host, Tico, and this is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
And we are in the third round of the NHL playoffs.
Yeah, we are.
Man, and it's been banger after banger to start.
Late nights.
Yeah, late nights, absolutely. Every game's been in overtime so far. The second game of Vegas and Dallas is happening in about an hour for us, so we have not seen that one yet. Hopefully that goes to OT as well.
I kind of really hope so too.
Just give me every game in OT. When there's only one game a day, just let them go as long as possible.
Absolutely. I don't mind seeing 2 games in one day.
Yeah, 100%.
If that's all I got, then give it to me.
Also a big news week.
Boy, is it ever.
Yeah, outside of just the regular playoff run, we have some big news coming out of Toronto.
I was going to say some of the news that's happened this week and all the different stories, it's kind of not what the NHL wants because the
No.
news around the league is overshadowing the playoffs entirely.
Yeah, it's absolutely what the league doesn't want to see. They don't want anything overshadowing the playoffs. But I mean, you get a bombshell like this one, Dubas out in Toronto.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's huge.
And kind of out of nowhere when you heard Kyle Dubas's press conference earlier this week.
Yep. Yeah, and apparently a lot of the meetings that they were having after the playoffs, he was leading the charge in the conversation. So I don't really know what happened there in the last 2 days, but it sounded like he was at the wheel.
Yeah, it seemed like it was pretty positive. However, when you listen to that press conference, he did kind of seem maybe not 1 foot out, but like he maybe was reevaluating things.
Yeah, or he was preparing for
Which I can't blame him for at all. Like that's a hard market to be in and be the face of, and especially with the constant failure.
Yeah, I mean, saying Toronto or bust too, it's like he's dedicated to the process, so he wasn't leaving on his own accord.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Shanahan came on and basically said that he had a shift in thinking after that Dubas press conference. And so you got to think, and it seems like maybe there was something else as well. Like there was maybe something to do with the money changing, that Dubas's camp brought a new deal to the table late in the negotiations, which there's probably something to that, but that to me doesn't seem like enough to have this fall apart. So I think that when I think that's most likely that when Dubas kind of had that press conference, Shanahan saw it as maybe this guy's not all in.
Maybe. I think also Shanahan's just had such an issue with Dubas already.
Seems to be what they're saying.
I think more than anything, he was just looking for a reason to get rid of him, and he was like, yes.
It's valid. I'm not entirely sure that I believe in the Shanahan plan anymore.
I don't think I do either. I think that a lot of this was just Dubas being Dubas and being good at his job. And I think I would have liked to see what would have happened if all of these apparent roadblocks that we're hearing about now didn't happen.
Yep.
I would like to see where this team would have been otherwise without Shanahan constantly pulling the plug, throwing up roadblocks, delaying deals.
Yeah.
Apparently a big headline in that meeting after the playoffs was simplifying their process so they could get things done faster, which makes you think that maybe something didn't happen this season that was going to.
Right.
But someone got to it before them.
Right.
Perhaps an Orlov type situation.
Potentially.
Where you have all of these potential things going on, but then someone's like, hey, we could forget all that. We got this right here, right now. Let's do it.
Right.
And it's like, okay, we're not sitting on our hands and waiting.
Yeah. It's I'll be interested to see if anything comes out in terms of what the specifics are of blocked deals and stuff like that. I will say they're saying now Brad Treliving is the favorite to replace him. There was a tweet I saw from Dom Lucian here that says, others that are there are Mark Bergevin, Peter Chiarelli, Chuck Fletcher, Ray Sherrill, Ron Hextall, Jim Benning and Dave Notice. It's like every one of these GMs is such a massive, massive fall off from Kyle Dubas.
Yeah, the only person that even remotely strikes me as worth a look, maybe, is Ray Shero. And I don't even know about that. I don't know about that. Like,
well, I actually like Dave Notice as well. I don't know if the Leafs are in the business of rehiring ex-GMs, but I liked Notice's tenure in Toronto, and I liked it in Vancouver as well. So fine, but he hasn't been a GM in like a decade.
yeah, he's a little out of touch.
I don't know.
It might be someone you'd like put in an AGM role first, or like.
Yeah. Can you pull up that tweet you got beside you there, Austin? Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Because yeah, Stan Bowman. God, what the fuck is Calgary thinking there? Which it was announced today by Darren Dreger that it looks like Craig Conroy will be the guy in Calgary. That'll probably be announced next week.
I don't love that because like
No.
the issue with like hiring your AGM after you fired your GM is that your AGM typically just learned everything from him.
Yeah.
And now he's going to put into practice the same things you didn't appreciate from your last GM.
Yeah. I don't hate internal promotions at all. And sometimes I think it can really work, especially, and sometimes I think it can work with a guy you fired when, you know, he maybe saw, oh, that's what didn't work for this guy. However, not with a team like Calgary that's in need of such a major shakeup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like sometimes it just like in a Dubas situation, right? It's like, okay, it worked. It just didn't work enough. We just got to change it a bit here. Maybe the roster is a little bit different, but like in terms of the GM thing, it's not like Dubas it was a train wreck with Kyle Dubas.
No, I would argue it was a success.
Absolutely. Whereas in Calgary, like, okay, they need major change.
Yeah, they need change like with a capital C.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not huge on that, but with that said, I'll handicap that with I don't know a ton about Craig Conroy. So
yeah, I don't know a ton about him either, but I also know that like teams that historically have been in this type of place and have just shifted down the line to their AGM typically just follow the same suit that they were already following and end up with the same issues. Granted, a lot of these issues came from the coaching in Daryl Sutter and being the most miserable man alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even with removing him and the GM from the picture, I still don't really know like if that's enough of like a cultural change if you're going to still be upholding the same quo pro from the next guy in line.
100%. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Let's cycle back on the Leafs a little bit here. Wait, do we have anything else to add to that?
Not particularly, no. The Flames are just, it's going to be an interesting offseason for them.
Yeah. Cycling back to the Leafs real quick. I mean, I think Dubas has done a fine job. I saw a Beaverton article that said Leafs fans tired of being good but not good enough want to go back to being bad and terrible up in front office.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit concerning to see Spezza walk out as well with Dubas. For me, that's a little bit concerning. Like I said, I'm not sure about this whole Shannon plan thing. I think it's been great through the rebuild process, but this may be a case of right guy at the wrong time now.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say like this is kind of a guy that handles stuff with lemons, and the acid gets it done in the tough situation.
Yeah.
But the Leafs are in a situation now where you need to handle everything with honey.
Right.
Like, and that's what Dubas was doing through and through. He was soothing the situation. He was finding the issues, but then finding a good way to go about it. Whereas Shanahan is more likely just to go, well, that doesn't work, and blow it all up.
Outside of Matt Murray, I've been a big fan of almost all of Dubas's moves this year, honestly.
Yeah, Matt Murray could have worked out too. Like if we're being honest.
Well, and every GM has missteps here and there. And he could have worked out. I mean, he's Matt Murray, but
Yeah, I mean, he's not a friend of the show. We'll say that much. But like, you have to shoot. He's a 2-time Cup champion. Like,
Yep.
you kind of have to like. And I do disagree with all the takes where it's like, oh, why didn't they play him? It's like,
oh yeah, no,
he's a 2-time Cup champion. It's like he was a 2-time Cup champion. Like,
yeah,
that was a while ago. Like Jackson said, that was a while ago.
you just gotta laugh.
You just gotta laugh.
Just gotta laugh. Yeah, I've liked him there. I really have. So it's gonna be interesting to see what comes next in Toronto. It's gonna be a big offseason for them. It's gonna be a big offseason for the Flames. Yeah.
Do you think they keep the core 4 together now that Dubas is out?
I do this year for sure.
Yeah.
I think it seems very unlikely to me that a new GM comes in and is like, pew, pew, trade him, bah! Like that. Maybe that's what Shanahan wants, but I think if they bring in a smart veteran GM, they're going to take some time and look at it and assess. It could start your franchise off on the wrong foot, your tenure in the franchise off on the wrong foot if you get that wrong.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it really, I think, depends on what Shanahan has in mind for their hiring process, though, because he could just be looking at someone that's not afraid to just eat the shit for a year and be like, we're trading everyone's favorite player.
It's true. He could be. I would tender that bet as unlikely, personally.
Fair.
Although I still think I talked about this with you a little bit earlier, but I think Mitch Marner to the Devils should happen.
I wouldn't hate it, but I really don't think it would be possible.
Yeah.
Jesper
Bratt, and one of those young defensemen. Label it Kevin Ball. Label it John Marino plus whatever you want for Mitch Marner. I think a Mitch Marner, Timo Meier, Jack Hughes line would be the best line in hockey.
Oh, I don't disagree. That sounds like Olympic caliber, but
the best line in hockey.
That sounds like an absolute pipe dream. I'm pretty happy with just doing the Jack Hughes, Timo Meier, Dawson Mercer combo.
I understand that for sure. But I like this deal because every person I've said it to Devils fans, and you say, "Oh, no, we wouldn't. We'd need a little bit more." And then I say it to Leafs fans, and they're like, "Oh, no, we'd need a little bit more." That means it's a good deal.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the best deals are usually when no one's happy right away.
Exactly.
Yep. It's kind of just where we always fall in like health and safety and Department of Player Safety issues too. It's like,
yeah,
if everyone's unhappy, then you probably did something right.
Yep. All right, let's get into the games here. Let's get into Florida and Carolina first, because man, this has been a banger series to start.
Yeah, holy Christ.
Back-to-back overtimes. One of them went to 4 overtimes, nearly 5. That was insane, dude. Like,
longest in both franchises' history.
Yep. Just ridiculous. I was working that night. I started at 4:00. Game started like an hour after I started, and I was done and out of there when that game ended.
Damn.
Yeah. I stuck around just sitting there waiting, and I was just watching it on the TV, and I was like, "Okay, well, guess once the 4th overtime ends, I'll head home and watch the 5th." And then Matthew goddamn Tkatchuk.
He is him.
He is him.
Man, it must be good to live in Florida.
Oh man, right now, yeah. You got the Panthers. Looks like they're going to the finals. Maybe. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but maybe. And then you got the Heat. They're looking to do the same. Jimmy Butler, Matthew Tkachuk. It must be a great time to be in Miami.
Yeah, you throw on a jersey and you're winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Championship names to be had.
Exactly.
It's like I hated being a Devils fan for the longest time because like the best thing we could dig out of our like name pool was Taylor Hall, and I was like, yeah, I guess he probably won't stay, and then he didn't. I just have this obsolete ass jersey.
Yep. And then Tkachuk gets the second in technically back-to-back days, as the first game ended in the morning in Miami. So 2 days, 2 overtime winners, both times, get off the ice. Ridiculous celebrations. Goddamn.
Let's go home.
This guy is out of this world right now. Is there anyone you'd rather have?
No. And what's really funny is a stat came up, and I know we shit on Corey Perry a lot now, because Corey Perry is just He's like truly hit his like heel decline.
Yeah.
He's truly stepped away from that babyface role.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time, mind you, there was a time, kids, where when we were your age, when I was your age, we called him Scory Perry.
We did call him Scory Perry.
He was the scoriest of the Perrys. And boy, did he score when you needed him to.
Corey Perry had him status for sure.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. He was around the net, and that's why so many people hate him. Like, he doesn't put it in the same way he used to, but he never changed his game, and he was just scoring those greasy, nasty overtime goals. And he was, I think, Matthew's right ahead of him now with the most overtime goals in a single
playoff? Yeah, he's at 3 now. Also, Barkov has woken up.
I was calling it, man.
Yeah.
This guy is a gamer.
Absolutely.
What a move.
Absolutely. He's been one of the most underrated players in the NHL for years.
This still right here needs to be put into an action figure. This needs to be like, you know, those old school replica action figures we used to get that had the goalies and making the save and stuff.
I have one actually in my closet right now.
Yeah, we need one of those for this right there.
Dude, to do that in a playoff game, we'll roll the clip here.
Pushes it back into Hurricane Ice. Barkov unable to come up with it. Got it now. What a play. Beautiful goal. Aleksander Barkov. Well, you got a motivated guy coming out of the penalty box as his teammates kill off that power play. And then this is just another great play from the D, keeping the puck in. A hard dump in around. It looks like the opportunity to get it out, but it's Mahura under pressure, just slides that one through. Barkov made it look like, how about this deception? Makes it look like he's going to go between the legs, stops, and that just...
To do that in a playoff game, down a goal, to go between the legs and then back out, I mean, just an absolutely ridiculous goal from a player who doesn't play like flashy hockey.
Not at all. Like, this is a guy that just plays good old fashioned hockey to the T,
front and back. And Wayne Gretzky called it one of the best goals he's ever seen in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's hard to disagree.
I wouldn't disagree. I was speechless. I'm still speechless. I'm watching this for the 6th time. We just have this on a loop right now, and it's like, this is insane, man. The wherewithal, the read, that pass was insane too. Like,
it was a great pass.
We need to put more on that pass. That was steezy. Yeah, that was a hell of a play. Barkov is a hell of a player, and I'm so glad that was who scored that goal too. I really hope that just lights a fire under him and really gives the Panthers that extra push.
Well, yeah, exactly. That was why I took the Panthers and why I took Dallas as well. I mean, we'll see how these series go, but my whole thing with both of those teams is like, okay, Vegas to me is a team that's played at 100%. Like the Vegas in that Oilers series, we're playing peak Vegas hockey.
Yep.
The Hurricanes, we're playing peak Hurricanes hockey with the injuries that they have.
Yep.
Whereas Florida has a player that was still waiting to get really productive in Barkov, and Dallas has a player in Jason Robertson that had been on a drought, and Jake Ottinger, who had some up and down games in the last series.
Yeah, he's not looked like the Ottinger that we thought we were going to see moving forward in the playoffs.
He was in game 5, I thought, and in game 7 as well, but not consistently through that series at all. So, yeah, I would be scared if I was living in Raleigh right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Dropping 2 at home, going back to Florida.
Yeah,
with him on the ice.
Panthers are now 9-1 since going down 3-1 to Boston.
Wow. Talk about a wake-up call.
Yeah. Also, if you're a Leafs fan, you got to feel a little bit better now.
Reminds me of the 2012 LA Kings, no? Didn't they go down really big? They were down 4 or 3-1.
Yeah, they were. They were down 3-1, and they were the 8th seed.
Yeah, they reverse swept San Jose, and then they moved on to win the cup as an 8th seed.
It was the last reverse sweep in the NHL.
Yeah, so,
took out the President's Trophy winners in the first round, took out the Canucks the same way Florida took out the President's Trophy winners. There's a lot of parallels there.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of eerie once we get down to it, and it reminds me a lot of that other chart we were looking at of most consecutive road wins by a team. Pretty much every team on that list
Won that year.
won that year. Gotta own the arena.
I hope it happens. Sergei Bobrovsky as well. I mean, get out of here. He's posting over 960 every game right now. Actually being worth his money. How? No one ever thought it would happen, but great for him. And great for the Panthers. Like, they desperately needed, especially with Spencer Knight not there. Like, just as clutch as it gets.
A 974 is disgusting.
It's ridiculous, dude. It's
God
ridiculous.
damn. Like a 969. Oh. You
Saving
can't.
63 of 65 in that 5 OT, 4 OT.
That's $10 million.
That's $10 million.
I'll eat my words there. That is money well spent.
Man.
You're back on the case.
You're back on the case. You're the I don't know. You own the police shop.
You own the police. The case is on you.
Yeah, you're the sheriff now, buddy. This is a great series. It's just been awesome through only 2 games. Vegas Dallas was awesome as well. We'll touch on that next. It's just been great hockey, baby.
Dude,
that's what we love.
Finishing checks too. Like, this is the hockey I love.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
The first rounds were a little boring. The second rounds even were a little stale.
The first round was boring?
Yes, sir. There was not
my
nearly enough
God.
people finishing their checks. And you know why? Because they wanted to go home and play golf.
Okay, Don Trilly.
You need to finish your checks out there, kids. This ain't the regular season. You either play hard or you go home, okay? And what we're seeing here from this Tkachuk guy is he's looking really good out there with his Barkov, and he's just making it work, okay? And then how's it? What's he doing?
Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first, folks. I think Don has his own podcast, actually, too. You should get on there with him.
Just start doing my Don impression in the middle of him talking.
Hey, man. I feel like the second round is usually the lull, I think. I love the first round every year. First round's amazing hockey. And then the second round is usually, I find, nowhere near as good.
I found myself kind of having to pick and choose kind of more selectively in the first round than I usually would.
Right.
There was a couple games where I was like, oh, this will be really good. And I went to it and I was like, this is really slow and stale.
Yeah.
Then I'd go to the one that I didn't think about, like the Seattle game. I was like, that one will be slow and stale. And I went to it and I was like, damn.
Bangers.
This is insane.
Bangers.
Yeah, it was a great game. But like,
Yeah.
you know?
Now this, though, like the third round, like you say, you love that. Right, you know, I would love finishing the checks, big heavy hockey. I like more watching more of a speed game, and I love watching a good cycle.
Yep.
And I think no matter what you enjoy in watching hockey, you're getting that out of both these series.
Oh, for sure. The cycle in this series is insane.
Yeah.
The board pressure that both teams are using right now, like the support that they're providing to each other down low, it's paralleled.
I know,
it's
man.
Really, really good hockey. It's fun to watch no matter what type of hockey they're playing.
Exactly. Yeah. Like all of these teams have some of it, right? Vegas is big. They play heavy. Dallas plays heavy too, but they're fast as hell. They got lots of skill. There's goaltending battles. Like, it's just whatever you like. This is an all-you-can-eat buffet right now.
For sure. I gotta say though, if I'm Florida, like, and I want to keep this pressure, keep this momentum going.
Yeah.
For the love of God, you got to cut down on the breakaway chances. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's very, very fair.
I get that your forecheck is your bread and butter. Don't get me wrong. It looked amazing the last game. You almost scored the game winner in the third with it.
Mm-hmm.
But holy Christ, help your goalie out.
Yeah.
Just because he's putting up a 9.74 doesn't mean that you can just send him on a yard sale every second play.
Yeah.
Like these guys are just doing track and field half the time.
It's unbelievable.
Listen to the Sunny with a Chance theme song. Off to the races, I'm going places.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Might be a top shelf. Whoops, gonna waste it. Because Jordan Stahl's a plug.
Yeah. All the stalls kind of are at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not a prideful bunch.
All right.
Ding, 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 ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding. Okay.
Three cheers for liberty.
Hip, hip. Hey. Okay, let's move on. Vegas and Dallas. This is a banger series as well. We've said it multiple times. Robertson ends his goal drought. That's a big one.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to sound like such a hater here.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm about to say some hateful ass.
We're going to go Kevin Durant on him. I like it.
I'm going to go some hater. Not for Robertson, though. I love Robertson.
Yeah,
but
Robertson.
I'm so glad that Dallas lost the first game.
Are you?
Because I could not stand for Jamie Benn to have the equalizing goal in
a
win. I was like, yeah, they tied it. And then I was celebrating and I was like,
oh my God. I love it.
They got scored on and I was like, good. Let's see it for game 2.
Yeah. That's so funny, dude. Yeah, that's valid. We're not big fans of Jamie Benn on this show, but that's okay. Because Rupe Hintz, that's also a guy that is having his welcome to the show moments, I think, right now. I think a lot of people, particularly if you're a Dallas fan, know Rupe Hintz is that dude. But I think for a lot of other fans, they're really getting that wake-up call of, oh man, this guy is the real deal.
Yeah, this was another name that I was dropping for last series when I was like, this is a guy that we need to watch because he is absolutely starting to find that stride.
Yeah,
like, I mean, and I don't think they have an answer for him.
No, like he's so skilled, he's so smart, and he plays every single shift at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, like there's no quit in this guy.
Yeah, Dallas is starting to pick it up. Like I said, they've still had room to get even better, and I mean, I think we saw it last night.
Yep. No, the night before.
Yeah, night before. Pavelski too, man. How good does he look?
Consistent, just old and consistent, tried and true. Like, that might be the guy to have on your team.
Absolutely, he is that guy in the playoffs. Like he just is. I know. We always think about the Sharks as the team that never did it, but that was never ever on Joe Pavelski.
No,
that guy has always been a gamer when they need him.
Yep, absolutely. If anything, that falls more on Couture. Who was their goalie at the time?
Jumbo Joe.
Yeah, Jumbo Joe's a curse though.
They had so many goalies through the years. Like they were kind of a graveyard for that.
Niemi?
Was
it Niemi? Yeah, that's who I remember.
Never enough compared to some of the goalies that were around the league in that time, right?
Yeah, who are on the market, and if you're making a cup push, you probably should have.
Yeah, like nowadays we're seeing much more teams get by with really shaky goaltending.
Yeah,
like Vegas is an example. Even Carolina's kind of an example. Freddie, I mean, sure, Freddie's Freddie, but
well, I mean, there's a reason Toronto walked away from him too. So
yeah,
right. Like he is still someone's secondhand laundry in Carolina, anyways.
Yeah,
but
whereas when the Sharks for a lot of those years were in a division with Jonathan Quick and Roberto Luongo, like it's hard to compete with.
No, absolutely.
And also Jack Eichel.
Eichel.
My freaking boy, dude. He looks great in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, he's happy to be in the playoffs, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he is. And I thought, he was going to have a bit of a tougher adjustment period because like it's been so long since he's played a playoff game. He hasn't played a playoff game since junior hockey.
Well, he is absolutely picking it up, and it is so good to see because like this is another guy that I was just like stewing under the skin, just like this guy's gonna have his whole career wasted by these garbage ass teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole saga with Buffalo and his back injury, like
terrible.
What a joke. Terrible franchise. Hope you guys are doomed forever.
Yeah.
So glad to see him actually like getting a chance to actually have his stock worth something, like truly.
100%. I completely agree with that.
And back on the goaltending with a lot of teams getting away with shaky goaltending.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of these teams like that we're probably going to think of are, saving the budget and spending it more on their like core 4 top 6. And getting 2 budget goalies, kind of in the lines of the Devils, where you end up with Schmid and Vanacek, and then you're spending like what, 4 to 6.
Yeah.
But like my main thought on the Oilers this year was like, wow, this is a team that just has truly terrible taste in goaltending. Because it's not even like they did it for a budget move. You have Campbell at 5.
Yeah.
It's like Jack Campbell is not a $5 million goalie. Give me a break.
Maybe
if in like a basement team where you need something to hold it together, but not in a cup team. Certainly not.
Well, look, I can't really say that I blame them too much when they needed goaltending so badly and there was nothing on the market.
I mean, that's always their thing though, is they leave it to last, and then they either are stuck with like the lemon on the lot, or they just pick poorly to begin with. Like, do you remember when they had Mike Smith?
Do I remember?
And they were like wholeheartedly just like, yeah, this is our guy. That's a stallion.
Yeah.
You watch him fumble the puck in the like behind the net for the 7th time. It's like, okay, like,
yeah, sure. It's so tough. The goaltending situation is it's something a lot of teams never figure out.
Yeah, and I think that's really going to be what holds the Oilers back.
It's like, very possible. It's very possible.
Like, sure, you're kind of boned with the Darnell Nurse signing, and I've been incredibly on the record and hard about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really matter if you have 2 nothing burger goalies behind you as well. Like,
yeah,
are these guys that you really can put like your faith in on a playoff cup run? Like,
no,
I don't feel it. I don't see it.
No, I mean Skinner. I actually don't mind Skinner. I think because how old is he now? He's only 24 years old. I think that's a guy maybe that he could get hot for a run. And I actually think Jack Campbell could have a pretty decent bounce back year as well. But yeah, it's not going to be. It's one of those everything needs to go right situations like we talk about.
Campbell gives me Tristan Jarry vibes.
It's very fair.
Where it's like the right idea, but it's just not enough, and it's never going to really get you to that hump.
Yeah, I like that comparison actually, because I like Jarry as well. But yeah, is he really enough? Maybe if your team can compensate for it.
Yeah, maybe if you don't have $8 million spent in Darnell Nurse and you can get a top 2, top 4 to complement and fill in some of those holes. But
because I mean, keep that pull that page back up, that cap friendly right there. What do you have? You have 2 more years of Leon Draisaitl at $8.5 million. You kind of got to do it now.
Yeah, you do.
Know that contract will be Nathan McKinnon money.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah, that's going to be the league max. Like, that past a contract can eat.
100%.
Yeah, that's done as dinner. 8.5 is a joke.
One of the best. That's probably the best contract in the NHL.
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't even argue that for a second. I would take that contract any day.
Oh yeah,
any day.
Okay, one more news thing to get to today. We have the Tempe vote gone wrong.
Good. Good. If you could smell.
So yes, the Tempe vote happened in Arizona this week, where they voted for the new arena to happen in Arizona to home the Coyotes. And the people have spoken.
Yeah, they have.
And they said, fuck no.
They dropped the people's elbow.
Yeah.
Well, rock reference for all you.
Gary Bettman.
Jabronis.
Gary Bettman puts out a statement. The NHL is terribly disappointed by the results. Yeah, we're going to review with the Coyotes what the options might be going forward. Ha! You absolute buffoons. I swear to God.
Ha ha.
I mean, who didn't see this coming?
Everyone. No one wanted it.
The NHL pushed and pushed and pushed and made it seem like they were so confident that it was going to go through that I'm not even sure they had a backup plan from what we're hearing, which is just bonkers.
The wildest thing for this, for me, is like, if you want a city and a government to subsidize you building $1 billion arena, they have to want it first.
Yeah.
It has to serve a purpose in their community. They have arenas already. They have all this.
Yeah.
Like, they have 2 massive arenas. Basketball's huge in Phoenix. That's what they care about.
Yeah.
They don't need you. They don't want you. They never did want you.
Well, that's actually something I want to touch on because, I mean, they're looking at Phoenix now. This was going to be Tempe.
Yeah.
But
then they didn't want to pay their rent in Phoenix, and then Phoenix kicked them out. Now they're in Tempe, and Tempe's like, why would we want that issue?
Well, that was in Glendale.
Oh, yes.
We're all over. They've been all over the place in Arizona.
Jesus.
But the fact that they're not in Phoenix is actually, in my eyes, a big reason why they fail.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to look at some numbers on this because I don't actually know what they are. But you have to be in the big city. You got to be a part of the big city, a part of the nightlife, a part of someone's entire night where they go out and then they go out for drinks after, they go out for dinner after or before. And it's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
When you have an arena in the suburbs the way the Coyotes have, it's never going to work.
No, it's like where the Peonies kind of situate in Vancouver. It's like it's cool if you have to go there, but it's not somewhere you're just going to be around.
Yeah.
Like you have to pre-plan your whole life and day around that. If there's a show out there, if there's like a special game out there, it's like you're not going out there for any reason other than like that one thing.
I think this is fantastic. I think it's also absolutely banana land that the NHL got outspent 8-1 by their opponents.
Oh boy.
On advertising and pushing, yes.
That
is bonkers.
That's bonkers, but it's not shocking because the NHL absolutely sucks at marketing themselves. So they suck at bringing in money and they suck at selling shit. And believe it or not, if you suck at selling a product, you aren't going to make money.
How do you expect to win?
Getting outbid by small unions.
And more than that, how do you not have a plan if you lose? Like with the Thrashers vote.
Right.
When that happened, yeah, it was like 2 weeks later. It was like immediate. Oh yeah, Jets are ready. They have the logo. They have the team. They have we have the Winnipeg Jets are here. Ta-da, done.
Yeah.
This is like from everything we're hearing, it's like they're scrambling. Logan Cooley didn't sign. He's going back to college next year. He has no business being there.
But hey, you know what? That college stadium he plays in, it holds 7,000. And the stadium he would be playing in for the NHL for his home team,
no,
it holds 5.
No,
he's playing in front of a bigger crowd, going to school. Well, I mean, he would technically also still be just going to school because the Arizona Arena is in a college stadium.
Yeah. It's a joke. It's travesty.
Which is like significantly less nice than the college stadium he already plays in because he plays for like what is a top 10. What do they call them over there?
Where's Logan Cooley?
He plays for Michigan, right?
Leave that up though, Austin. That tweet right there. But yeah, can you look up where Logan Cooley plays?
I think he's in Michigan. That's like Big 10, right?
Players with Logan Cooley's production don't stay.
They shouldn't.
In college. No, they don't. Like ever. The fact that Logan Cooley is pretty damning.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but I don't blame him. This is the right move for this kid. I would not go and play for Arizona. I'm not helping you rebuild a team, diminish my skill, waste my time. Like I could go and like work with coaches I'm familiar with, have them grow my game more, just tailor my training. I'll carry their team to a championship. I'll boost my stock. And you guys can just go and pound sand until my entry level runs out.
Yeah.
Or trade my rights.
Yeah. Don't blame him.
Great move. I'm all on the player's side on this one.
Shout out to Cooley for that.
Like as a victim of the Kovalchuk situation, I'm not usually a fan of players like just outright screwing over a franchise and being like, nah, you know? Or even like the
here though.
But it's so valid.
Yeah.
Like I cannot. I can't even blame him for this in the slightest.
Yeah. And let's talk about Keller for a second. Clayton Keller, he tweeted out the sad face emoji. And his dad tweets out, Keller will not be there at the beginning of the season and expect others to follow or not sign. Team will be moved. There are no other options, and Phoenix will regret losing a professional sports team. The city just got diluted from a perception standpoint, privately financed too. And then, as our great producer Austin noted, he went for the dog ate my homework excuse and said his Twitter got hacked. Yeah, okay, pal.
Sure you did.
Yeah. That's the my friend had my phone.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
My friend sent that text.
Oops. That wasn't me. Did I do that? Yeah. Give me a break.
And again, hey, Papa Keller. I'm usually all about the dads, the family. Stay the fuck out of it. Cause like, hey man, like, you not the guy, pal. But he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
No.
That's the funny thing is like he wasn't wrong. I mean, aside from the fact that like the whole like city of Phoenix lost a great opportunity and the culture's diluted. Shut up.
Wasn't even gonna be in Phoenix.
Yeah, and also like if it was gonna be a part of the culture, if it was gonna be a part of the fabric of the culture, if Phoenix, if anywhere in Arizona even remotely gave a shit about hockey at this point, we would have seen it. Yeah. They would have shown up, they would have bought tickets, and they would have been able to pay their rent in the first place.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that this is a team that had to pay people to come. They were financing your parking. It's like, what, $40 to pay for parking usually at a game? They were giving them to them for $5. They were giving away 2 free hot dogs, 2 free drinks, a popcorn, and a free ticket so you could bring a friend with a 2-ticket package. So they were basically losing money on the whole thing because tickets were also being sold for $40 to $60. Like Canadians were traveling down to Arizona to watch their team play in Arizona because that's how cheap it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was cheaper to buy a plane ticket from wherever you live in Canada and fly to Arizona and then just live there for a week and watch your team play.
Yeah, I knew a kid that lived down in Glendale, and he used to go for $8 to see the greats of the game play. To see Ovi when he comes to town, Crosby when he comes to town, for $8.
$8.
Yes.
Let me put that in perspective, folks.
Yes.
We had an ECHL team. That's like the butthole of the butthole.
Hey,
it's a beauty league.
Whoa, yeah. Hey,
but like,
whoa, truly.
If you play for the ECHL, you are not going anywhere. This is like
yeah. You're 2 years out from hopping in the trades for sure.
Yeah, like you are making like $40K a year to play hockey. You're still getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
But not a lot.
Yeah.
The like max salary guys are making like $100K in that league.
Yeah,
maybe.
If that, yeah.
Yeah, like I think Wes Goldie, he was quoted like making $65K, and he was the best scoring player on the Salmon Kings. So,
let's go.
Right, so like,
but yes, those tickets.
They were still like $20, $15.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
$10 even. I paid more to watch someone who would be the healthy scratch on a Vancouver Canucks farm team. I paid $20 to watch someone who couldn't make what are they called? The Manitoba Moose.
Yeah.
The Salmon Kings were the farm team of the farm team's farm team.
Yeah.
And I paid more.
You pay almost that much in bus fare to get there and back.
Yeah. You do.
Brutal. Okay. So, peace out. Arizona, you won't be missed.
Can't wait for you to get relocated.
Really quick, do you have any fun ideas on where you want to see them go? I got a couple.
Yeah, how about you go first? You might have knocked off a couple of mine already.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone's kind of talking about Houston, which I really like. People are talking about Salt Lake City, which I don't like.
I actually like Salt Lake City. That could be interesting.
Too many freaking Mormons out there.
I guess so, you know.
I got some family in Salt Lake City, and I don't know. Don't like that city. And then, did I say Quebec City? Because, people are talking about that one too, which,
boring.
We don't need to give the French anymore. Just kidding. I'm going to cut that out. That's terrible.
Keep it. That's so funny.
Yeah, so a couple places that I do like. Not that they're the hottest of takes, but I like Kansas City.
Yeah.
I think that you could do some really cool things color-wise, team-wise there. I also like Baltimore. I think that you could have a fun team in Baltimore.
Yep.
And I one more that we kind of came together on last night that I thought about was Milwaukee.
Milwaukee would be interesting.
Yeah.
Is there any teams like in or around the DMV?
Oh, I guess the Capitals.
Oh, okay. It's Washington.
Yeah.
But then it also has Virginia,
Maryland,
West
Virginia.
Yeah. See, like I was thinking like Maryland or whatever, because like, but I
Yeah,
guess that's still
yeah.
too close to Washington.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the other teams, funny enough, that I was like coming up with that, like, you know, all of them were in Ohio, and I was like, oh no. The last thing we need is another Ohio team. But I was like, Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
They're all cold as shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you turn on a football game over there any given time, it could be snowing. Like,
Cincy, Cleveland. I don't hate those.
fun colors.
Yeah.
Could go. We could use some orange in the league.
Yep. That's why I
But
kind
isn't
of
the
thought
Ducks-
Baltimore too. I'd like purple. Would be nice.
Purple. Yeah. Go with the Ravens sort of idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Austin just pulled up the Kansas City Scouts. Kansas City. You know, that wouldn't be awful. However, like, they'd have to come up with something new. A, because this logo's a little bit racist, and B,
It's old as hell.
yeah, it's also like on the Devils Heritage jerseys as well. So
Yeah, it is,
you
yeah.
can't have a team wearing a Heritage jersey and also have it be the current logo for a team.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Well,
make
I mean,
much
they
sense.
could ditch it. The Devils could ditch it.
I mean, I guess so, but like,
But nah.
it just got made. So
I like Portland too.
yeah.
Portland, even San Francisco.
Yeah, an Oregon team, I wouldn't be mad about like any team in Oregon.
Yeah. I think Houston makes the most sense because it's the Coyotes relocating, so you're staying in the Central that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to realign any divisions and make travel a hassle for anyone.
Weird pitch. Kentucky.
Where in Kentucky?
Yeah, Louisville. Well, I guess Cincinnati's pretty damn close
It's like
to
right
Kentucky.
on the border there, yeah.
So I guess like Cincinnati really would be a decent pitch. I mean, like it's still technically
Cincinnati.
Ohio, but like it's really close to Kentucky, and that was like a state I kind of was juggling around in my mind this morning, but I couldn't think of any like notable big cities out of Kentucky. Like, yeah, you just got Louisville, Lexington.
That's intriguing. I like that.
Yeah, Cincinnati, you could pull fans from like the Kentucky borders. You could, you know, get everyone who isn't going to the Columbus games.
Right. Last thing I got for today, yeah. This week it would have been Rick Rippon's 39th birthday.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rick Rippon. Just a reminder to everyone to reach out, check in on your friends, and take care of yourself.
Yeah, man. Don't be afraid to get help. I'll be like completely honest. I just got medicated for like the first time in my life, and it was like super scary for me to like actually go and get that help and like, you know, accept that like there was something potentially wrong with me and kind of come into grips and accepting that. And it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. In fact, I felt like the positive effects almost instantly within the first 3 days, and like continued effects throughout. Unfortunately, I had to stop taking those particular pills because I was allergic to them, but we're trying some other things now, and we're kind of like getting back on track with it. And it's probably the best decision I've made in the last like 10 years, if I'm being honest. Like, so don't be afraid to like your doctor, your family doctor's there to help you. Like, they're there to understand. Like, they're not there to make you feel bad about yourself, or like, you know, they're going to help you and, you know, go through the process of finding whatever's best for you. And all you have to do is just have that 1 second of courage to start the conversation and be like, you know what? I'm not okay. Something is not right.
100%.
That's all it takes. And it is very worth it. I promise. My family sees the change. My friends see the change.
Yep.
It's worth it. So if you need help, don't be afraid to get help. If you see someone struggling, you know, make sure that you let them know that you're there for them as well, because sometimes, you know, that's all that we need.
Absolutely. Proud of you, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for being there for me.
Of course.
I'm always appreciative of you.
Of course.
You as well, Producer Austin.
Yeah.
Love you both.
Lots of love, y'all. And yeah, to everyone out there, keep pushing. Keep your head up.
Keep pushing. Keep your head up. Happy birthday, Rick. Boom.
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick